Let me tell you a little story about a boy who wanted to play a new game, let's call it chess, and an old man who was the chess master. All right, so here we go. There was a boy who would walk into this park every day around the same time for about 1 hour every day. And he would see this old man sitting by himself moving these pieces on a board. And the boy always wanted to know how to play this game. What was the old man doing? And one day he worked up the courage to go and approach the old man. And he asked the old man, "Can I play with you?" But the thing is that the old man couldn't talk. The old man didn't say anything. But the old man did make a little gesture, and eventually the boy took that gesture as a sign, a signal to sit down. So the boy sat down with the old man, and at first he didn't know what to do. You see, the old man couldn't explain the instructions to him in words. So the old man just started playing the chess with the boy. And every time the boy would move one of the pieces, at the beginning especially, the old man would shake his head and move the piece back until the boy knew and understood how the different chess pieces would move. All right, so eventually the boy learned how to play this game just by the old man moving the pieces back, shaking his head, and when the boy would make a correct move, the old man would nod his head. And eventually they got through a whole game that was played correctly. And of course, the boy lost the game, but now the boy understood the point of the game, the purpose of the game, how to win, right? How all the pieces moved. Eventually, after several months, the boy started to get to grips with an understanding of this. And then they played several games together, and eventually the boy started to win a couple of games. The first time he won a game, he was over the moon about it, right? And they played many games like this over several years, right? They continued to play this game for several years. This boy would come into the park and play a game of chess with the old man. The game that the old man taught the boy how to play without any language, without any words, without verbal instruction, right? And one day, after years and years of playing this game with this old man, the boy thought to himself that, it would be really cool if I could move the king this way and it would be okay and it would have that effect on the game. So he had a really cool idea for a new rule, but he couldn't describe this rule to the old man because the old man was deaf as well as mute, okay? So there was no verbal communication there. So what the boy did one day is simply move the pieces that way. Now, what do you think the old man did in that situation? Well, all the old man did was give the boy a disappointed look, right? And move the pieces back, right? As if to say, you know better than that, right? So the boy gave up for that day. He was like, okay. And so the next day, he tried it again, and then again, until eventually he gestured to the old man like this, right? And eventually, after 3 weeks of doing this every single day, the old man kind of got the message and said, okay, he didn't say okay, but he held up his hands and tried the new rule. And eventually, this became a part of the game. This was a new part of the game, a new rule. And then the boy started to change a couple of other rules, right? And then one day, the boy even brought in a new chess piece to the game. And by this point, it was established that the boy was pretty good at making new rules for the game. So the old man even let the boy bring this new piece into the game, and the whole game started to change, and now the boy had become the master, right? The boy had become the chess master, and the whole game had changed, and he was the one who was making the rules now. So this is a metaphor for how your ego will try to stop you from implementing changes into your life. You see, your ego and your routine as you have it now, your routine has been established by your ego. And your ego is not trying to harm you with a bad routine or a mediocre routine. It's just that your ego thinks that it has been the master for so long that this is how to play the game. And if you try and change something, it will give you something called ego backlash. So it will knock you back down to what you were doing before, unless you keep it up again and again and again and again for at least 3 weeks. Okay, so now 21 days, that's a bit of a cliche in the personal development industry now. Some people say it takes 21 days to establish a new habit. Some people say 30 days. Some people say 90 days, right? Whatever it is, it's different for every individual. So for you, I'm saying try it for 3 weeks. Try it for 21 days. If you need to do it, if you need to keep up this kind of willpower for a little bit longer, okay. But if it still feels wrong after that time and you've tried and tried, then maybe that routine isn't for you, right? But it will take a while, okay? Habit, if you're trying to change your ritual, trying to change your routine, it will take a few weeks before you start to feel that it's natural and good, okay? Because that old chess master inside you will try to set you back and say, no, you made a wrong move, right? This is how you play the game. But you're making the rules now, okay? So let's start making some rules. Welcome to Morning Mastery, your morning routine course. You want your life to be productive and creative and loving and joyous and meaningful and fulfilling. And a morning ritual goes a long, long way to achieving that kind of success in life. You know, most people think that it's the odd one-offs that make up their lives, the trips they go on, the big things they buy, and that's all great, but the truth is that it's the things that you do every day that really determines the quality of your life. And everybody has a routine, but not everyone knows how to make those routines work for them instead of working for those routines. Now, a morning ritual is a conscious, intentional routine that you go through every single day to kickstart your day in a way that benefits you. How do you want to feel? What do you want to get done? Who do you want to be? This is called being proactive rather than reactive. Your morning sets the mood for the rest of your day. You really recontextualize your day with a morning ritual. You know, most people wake up and they go straight to work. They get swept up in all of the external stuff they have to do and all of these problems, right? But with a morning ritual, you take time to connect to yourself, to work on your art maybe, or to connect with your spirit, or to connect with your loved ones, or just to take care of yourself physically, emotionally, psychologically, right? What do you have to do with your life? if you don't take this time first thing in the morning to take care of yourself and get that important work done, then you gradually get a little sadder throughout the day, and this can lead to some really negative stuff like depression. But if you get that important stuff done right away in the morning, it's done for the rest of the day, and it sets you up for happiness. If you want to learn how you can plan and customize your own morning ritual and set your day up for success, then join me now and let's get started.